Hey, hey.
Tobago updates.
Na, 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 na.
Good morning, Tobago.
Na, 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 na.
Wake up with Kandace and Denise.
So good morning, Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, now we are switching our conversation to opportunity for you. If you like, wooden things, to engage yourself in a craft that can earn you some money. So we are speaking with Mr. Richard Hubbard and Mr. Evan Samuel of who conduct wood turning demonstrations, and they have a special demonstration coming up for us tomorrow and Friday at the Scarborough Library. Good morning and welcome to you both.
Right. Good morning, and thank you for having us.
Now let's start, and I will probably start with Mr. Richard. We'll start with, what is wood turning?
Well, wood turning is a process of turning wood on a wood lathe into various shapes. It could be spindles for chairs, bowls for sweets or for food. These are the types of items. You turn on it's a mechanized system nowadays. In the past, it was done on a pole lathe, which was a much slower process. But now it's technologically driven.
Tell me, Mr. Evan, what is so unique about it?
Well, first thing is that we consider ourselves, we help with the environment. When a tree falls, we take the parts of the tree and we make it into pieces of useful items. So when a tree falls, we will take a branch from the tree and we will make it into a rolling pin. And then we'll take a part of the trunk and we will make it into a bowl. So for us, the tree does not ever die.
How difficult is it?
Not difficult. Not difficult at all. The turning process needs practice. Like a musician, you need practice. And if you decide to turn any item, you need to practice until it reaches a point where you feel comfortable with what it looks like.
Okay.
So the actual turning process is not difficult. One little thing is that with people who do woodwork, they make their woodworking with a stationary piece of wood being cut by a spinning blade. In our case, the wood spins and the chisel that does the cutting is stationary. So it's a sort of reverse process.
I know the interest in woodwork and so on have sort of kind of fallen off over the years. Long ago, you would have people, you would introduce young people into those places where they get to be an apprenticeship and all of that. We don't have that anymore. Tell me about, just your interest in just getting back people, especially our young people, into something like this. Either one of you can take it.
Well, no, I used to be a school teacher, and I worked in practical area throughout most of my teaching career. And when many students would have failed, quote unquote, failed academically, they excelled in the technical areas, junior sec, senior comprehensive. And when that system kind of went into, I would say, into disrepair, it left a big void so that young people today do not understand how important that technical skill is. Richard and I coming to Tobago, we feel that there is a very, very clear path forward for young people and even older folks to get involved in this skill called wood turning, because it's a standalone skill. With the use of the machine that turns the wood and some tool that would sharpen your chisels and a tool that will cut the wood to bring it to put on the metal on that wood lathe, you don't need anything else. So any young person, a wood lathe costs sometimes a little less than a cell phone nowadays. So a young person, parents decide to buy them a wood lathe. In 6 months, 8 months, as Richard would tell you, they could produce a bowl, a mortar and pestle, a rolling pin. And one of the things that is important with us here today is that this demonstration that we're doing, it should attract young people at some stage because it is really a little money spinner for them. Where they work on their own, it's something like that.
And tell me about the opportunity. So you spoke about, just that financial gain that could come out of it. But how far can someone take this?
All right. Richard,
That can take you very far because you can get into functional items that can still command a good price, and you can go into art, the artistic part of it too, which is what Ivan does a lot of. And that can also be lucrative.
yeah. In Richard's case, I call him the quintessential wood turner because he is a very good woodworker. So if he builds, let's say, a stool for you, it will be part woodwork and part wood turning. And as you make these kind of incursions into the minds of young people, they must find some little space to say, but I could do that too. I could do that too. This demonstration that we are taking part in, it is the first time in Trinidad and Tobago that there is going to be what we call a standalone skill called wood turning. So this is a first for Tobago.
Mm-hmm. Now, there are two types of wood turning, and that's spindle turning and faceplate turning. Could you care to share more on that?
Right, Richard, you could explain that very well.
The lathe consists of basically 3 parts. There's a bed, a headstock, which drives the wood, and a tailstock, which supports. And so there's between centers, which is mounted between the headstock and the faceplate. And you can have what they call faceplate turning, which is mounted directly to the headstock. Can be supported by the tailstock, but basically it's on the headstock. So bowls and so on are turned basically on the headstock.
Mm-hmm.
Chair legs, pens, and things like that are turned between centers.
Yeah. So it's when somebody look at any piece of wooden item, they would see either a shaped item that might be like a rolling pin, but then the mortar and pestle would be turned on the headstock. So that is the faceplate side of it. The spindle side will be the rolling pin. And young people growing up into woodwork will have that opportunity to integrate wood turning into their woodwork as they go along. But again, we say it's a simple process that needs timing. Now, you had asked how far could it go? Wood turning by itself is a large industry all over the world, except in the Caribbean. There is a center for wood turning art, very large building in New York, where people go in and all you see there, large fancy bowls, artistic type of wood and things like that. So in Tobago, we could open a wood turning center.
Mm-hmm.
And when the tourists come, they come into the center and they see work produced by all the young people in Tobago. They could purchase, they could look at it and things like that. Tobago can be the only and first island that has a standalone wood turning center. Richard and I, we started off as hobbyists. And today, we consider ourselves in our little small world professionals.
Nice. Now, you also mentioned before we came on set that some of your most beautiful pieces were made by Glory Cedar from Tobago.
Yes.
And we take that. We have those trees all over the place here in Tobago, and we take it for granted.
Yes. Well, I came to an exhibition in 2018, and I saw Glory Cedar for the first time in 2018. And I took home some pieces, and I just fell in love with our wood. Very, very nice wood. And at the exhibition, you're going to see some pieces of glory cedar that will really amaze some Tobagonians, because people feel that wood, because it's there free, they could do what they want with it and throw it away or do something like that. That item, I don't know if he brings up something else. The item, there's an item there that is on the booklet that is a glory cedar item. And
well, hopefully we can probably change the CG.
Yeah, turn the clip. Yeah. So when you look at the types of wood in which that we use, glory cedar, I will put like maybe second on my list. I would tune in. Yeah, people will be fascinated to see how this wood that is discarded in Tobago can become an item. Now, another thing that we talk about...
But before you go there, I want you to explain a little bit more about why the glory cedar wood is good.
Right. Now, glory cedar is grown, how it grows, it has a bark, it has a sapwood, and then the core of it, what we call the heartwood. The sapwood is yellowish in color, and the core inside, while the tree is green, is gold in color. When you turn a piece of item out of that, the gold gets darkish and it contrasts. You see, the foremost item there is glory cedar. It contrasts with the golden part of it, and you get a beautiful two-tone out of that wood. This is the core wood that you see, that item in the middle there with the little finial at the top. If the woodturners of Tobago only concentrate on glory cedar, when a tourist come to Trinidad, they would want to take a piece of glory cedar, just the raw wood with them, because of the beauty of that wood for wood turning. The people who do woodwork, because how the trees, how it's configured growing, you do not have long stems that you could cut boards from. But the pieces are what are important to myself and Richard.
And we have so many of those trees around. I mean, every now and again, they may fall in the forest and stuff, and we can take that and use it.
Very, very much so. Wood here is like our gold mine in Tobago, that glory cedar. And I say so without any fear of contradiction, that once you harvest that wood in time, and this is what Richard and I have to do, we harvest trees when they fall. We don't cut down trees.
Now, we have to wrap up now, but I just want you to spend some time and tell Tobago how they can get connected with yourselves and that demonstration.
Right. Now, Richard, you want to talk about that?
Well, the demonstration will be at the library tomorrow and Friday during the day, so people can come and see and talk to us, see what it's all about, and talk to us during the day.
Right, so the numbers are there on your screen. So viewers, I mean, if you are interested, and you should be interested as to how, we can capitalize on something that we take for granted here in Tobago, which is the glory cedar, and how we can turn that into beautiful craft, get connected with Hubbard's woodworking and learn about wood turning. All right, so I want to thank you both for being on with us. It was a pleasure hearing about this. We're looking forward to see what comes out of it. We're looking forward to see how many young people take this opportunity and take it out there to the world. All right, viewers, that's all the time that we have for our show this morning. But I want to thank you so much for being with us, and we continue to appreciate your support. So we will see you again tomorrow.
Thank you very much.